The first book of MAQQAVIM, MAQQAVIM ALEF, chapter 2. Verse 1. In those days, MAQQAVIM, the son of Yochanan, the son of Shimon, a Kohen of the sons of Yarib, came from Jerusalem and dwelt in MAQQAVIM. And he had 5 sons, namely Gadi, Shimon, called Tasi. Verse 4, Yodva, who was called MAQQAVIM. Verse 5, Eliezer, called Avran, and Jehonathan, who was called Aphos. Verse 6, and when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Yodva and Jerusalem, verse 7, he said, Woe is me! Why was I born to see this misery of my people, and the Kodesh city, and to dwell there when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy, and the Mikdash into the hand of foreigners? Verse 8, Hahekel. Verse 8, Hahekel has become as a man without esteem. Verse 9, her splendid utensils are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain in the streets, her young men with the sword of the enemy. Verse 10, what nation has not had a part in her reign and received of her spoils? Verse 11, all her adornments are taken away from a free woman. She has become a slave. Verse 12, and see a Mikdash. And verse 12 again, and see a Mikdash, even and her esteem is laid waste, and the Gentiles have profaned it. Verse 13, why therefore shall we live any longer? Verse 14, then Mattityahu and his sons tore their garments and put on sackcloth and mourned greatly. Verse 15, in the meantime, the sovereign's officers who compelled the people to revolt came into the city of MAQQAVIM to make them offer. Verse 16, and when many of Israel came to them, Mattityahu and his sons also came together. Verse 17, then the sovereign's officers answered and spoke to Mattityahu in this way, you're a ruler and an honorable and a great man in the city, and strengthened with sons and brothers. Verse 18, now therefore you come first and complete the sovereign's command, and all the Gentiles have done, and also the men of Yodva, and those who remain at Jerusalem. So you and your house shall be in the number of sovereign's friends, and you and your children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards. Verse 19, then Mattityahu answered and spoke with a loud voice, though all the nations that are under the sovereign's reign obey him, and everyone falls away from the belief of their fathers and gives consent to his commands. 20, verse 20, still my sons and my brothers and I will walk in the covenant of our fathers. Verse 21, Ha-Elohim forbids that we, his people, should forsake the Torah and the Tanakh of the reading place when we call his holy name we worship. Verse 22, we will not listen to the sovereign's words to go from our beliefs either to the right hand or to the left. Now, verse 23, now when he had finished speaking these words, one of the Yehudim came into the sight of all to offer on the altar which was at MAQQAVIM according to the sovereign's command. Verse 27, then when Mattityahu saw this matter, he burned with ardor, and he trembled within, neither could he refrain. to show his wrath according to righteousness. Therefore he ran and slew him upon the altar. Verse 25. At that time he also killed the sovereign's commissioner, who compelled men to offer, and he pulled down the altar. Verse 26. Thus he dealt with a door of the Torah of Elohim. Verse 26 again. Thus he dealt with a door for the Torah of Elohim, as Phinehas did towards Zimri, the son of Salu. Verse 26 again. Thus he dealt with a door for the Torah of Elohim, as Phinehas did towards Zimri, the son of Salu. Verse 27. And Mattityahu cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, Whoever is ardent for Elohim's Torah and continues in the covenant, let him follow me. Verse 28. So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that they had in the city. Verse 29. Then many that sought after right ruling and judgment went down into the wilderness, all dwell there. Verse 30. Both they and their children and their wives and their cattle, because afflictions increased greatly upon them. Verse 31. Now when it was told to the sovereign servant and the army that was at Jerusalem, in the city of David, that some men who had broken the sovereign's command had gone down into the hiding places in the wilderness. Verse 32. They pursued after them in great number, and having overtaken them, they encamped against them and fought against them on the Shabbat day. Hallowed, in bracket, which is hallowed, a hallowed day. Verse 33. And they said to them, Let that which you have done until none be enough come out, and do according to the command of the sovereign, and you shall live. Verse 34. But they said, We do not come out, neither shall we do the sovereign's command, to profane the Shabbat hallowed day. Verse 35. So then they fought them in haste. Verse 36. However, they did not answer them, neither threw a stone at them, nor disclosed the places where they lay hid. Verse 37. But said, Let us die, all in our innocence. The Shamayim, Ha-Shamayim, and it will witness for us that you put us to death wrongfully. Verse 38. So they rose up against them in battle on the Shabbat day, that is the hallowed day, and they slew them with their wives and their children and their cattle, to the number of 1,000 people. Verse 39. Now when Mattityahu and his friends heard of this, they mourned for them greatly. Verse 40. And one of them said to another, If we all do as our brothers have done, and do not fight for our lives and laws against the Gentiles, that is the Torah, they will now come quickly, destroy us from the earth. Verse 41. At that time, therefore, they agreed, saying, Whoever shall come to fight with us on the holy Shabbat day, we will fight against them. Neither will we die as our brothers that were murdered in the hiding places. Verse 42. Then an army of Hazedim came to him, who were mighty men of Israel, even all those who were voluntarily dedicated to the law and the Torah. Verse 43. Also, all those that fled from persecution joined themselves there and were support to them. Verse 44. So they joined their forces and smote sinful men in their wrath, and wicked men in their wrath, but the rest fled to the Gentiles for support. Verse 45. Then MAQQAÐIM and his friends went round about and pulled down altars. Verse 46. And whatever uncircumcised children they found within the borders of Israel, those they courageously circumcised. Verse 47. They also pursued after the proud wind, and their work prospered. Verse 47 again, they also pursued after the proud men, and their work prospered in their hand. Verse 48, so they retained the Torah from the hand of the Gentiles and out of the hand of sovereigns. Neither did they allow sinner to overcome. Verse 49, now when the time drew near that MAQQAÐIM would pass into the Shamayim, Shamayim of great glory, he said to his sons, excellence and rebuke has now gained strength, and the time of destruction and the wrath of displeasure. Verse 50, now therefore my sons, be ardent for the Torah, the life, and give your lives to the covenant of your fathers, our hero patriarch. Verse 51, call to remembrance what acts our patriarch, the hero fathers did in their time, so shall you receive great honor and an everlasting name. Verse 52, was not Abraham found trustworthy in temptation, and it was reckoned to him for righteousness. Verse 53, Joseph, in the time of his distress, kept the command and was made master of Mizraim, in bracket today's Egypt. Bracket close. Verse 54, Pinehas, our father, in being ardent and fervent, obtained the covenant of an everlasting Kehunah. Verse 55, Yahushua, fulfilling the word, was made a judge of Israel. Verse 56, Caleb, for bearing witnesses before the assembly, received the inheritance of the land. Verse 57, David, for being kind, possessed the throne of an everlasting reign. Verse 58, Eliyahu, for being ardent and fervent for the Holy Torah, the living word, Elohim, was taken up into the Shamayim, the great habitation of army and angels, Hayo Elohim. Verse 59, Hananiah, Azariah, Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael were saved out of the fire by their belief. Verse 6 said, Daniel, for his innocence, was delivered from the mouth of great lions. Verse 61, and so consider throughout all the ages that no one will put their trust in him. Harwak Adonai shall be overcome. In bracket Tehillim, chapter 25, verse 3. Verse 62, do not fear then the words of the sinful man, for his esteem shall be dung and worms. In brackets, MAQQAVILIM Alef, chapter 2, verse 3. Verse 63, today he may be lifted up, but tomorrow he shall not be found, because he has returned to his dust, and his plans have come to naught. Verse 64, therefore you, my sons, be brave, and show yourselves men on behalf of the Torah, for by it you shall obtain esteem. Verse 65, and see, I know that your brother Shimeon is a man of counsel. Listen to him always. He shall be a father to you. Verse 66, as for Yedva MAQQAVAL, he has been mighty and strong even from his youth. Let him be your captain after Hayor HaElohim, in bracket, Yo Yeshua HaMashiach, out of bracket, and fight the battle of his people. Verse 67, also receive all those that observe the law, dash Torah, dash Elohim, the living word, and avenge the wrong of your people. Verse 68, repay the Gentiles completely, and guard the commands of Hayor HaElohim via the Holy Torah. Verse 69, so he Barak, in bracket, blessed them and was gathered to his people. Verse 70, and he passed into the realm of glory 146 years, and his sons laid his bones to rest in the tomb of his fathers at Modihim, and Israel made a great lamentation for him. Footnote for MAQQAVALIM ALEF, chapter 2, verse 62. Do not multiply words so proudly. Let no arrogance come from your mouth. For Nin is an heir of knowledge, and by him deeds are weighed. That's for Tehillim. That's from Tehillim. Yehovah, Yo Yeshua HaMashiach, copyright version.